Hi, and welcome to an Organized Chaos podcast. I'm Bobby Quarters. Chaos is here with me as well. We just wanted to thank you for watching.
Yes. Hey, Bobby.
And while you're here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You could follow me on YouTube as well as Chaos and the podcast channel, which all three of those channels will be streaming this very show you're about to watch. All these counselors start dropping dead, left and right. Heinous killings. Turns out, that kid who drowned the year before, his mother came back to that camp and exacted revenge.
I don't know, he sort of popped up at the right moment. And then he spoke about time travel.
I have the whole universe at my fingertips.
And I'm all on my own. I'd love it if you came with me.
It's called the TARDIS. It's a time and space machine.
Is it safe?
No idea.
Is that a monster?
No, don't be silly. There's no such thing as monsters. They're just creatures you haven't met yet.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
Did you guys pick up on that?
Sure did.
Something's wrong. We're gonna...
School was great, all right?
What was that? I thought you said we were gonna act casual.
All right, make a show of force. I don't want to have to put the foot down.
No, not the foot.
Riley, I do not like this new attitude.
What is your problem? Just leave me alone.
Sir, reporting high levels of sass.
Take it to DEFCON 2.
DEFCON 2.
I don't know.
Captain Christopher Pike requests permission to come aboard.
Well, Commander, this is awkward, but the best way to get into a cold stream is to jump right in. Federation sensors picked up 7 red bursts, spread out across more than 30,000 light years. These mysterious signals are beyond anything we understand. We have someone in common.
My foster brother, Mr. Spock.
He took leave. It says if he'd run into a question he couldn't answer.
We're on a collision course with a pulsar.
What a relief. Thought we were all gonna die.
Wherever our mission takes us, we'll try to have a little fun along the way. Ruffle a few feathers.
I look forward to it.
Hello. Hey, Bobby.
Hello.
How you
Hey.
doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Well, Mr. Anti-Idiotic, I have not seen Comics Nate review of X-Men 97, but not only did we discuss it on the podcast last week, and that full podcast in all its form can be seen on Bobby's channel.
Oh,
be
mine,
seen on
yes.
the Organized Chaos podcast channel. I also have an edited version of that podcast that came, or not that podcast, but that discussion that I released last Saturday. So there's plenty of discussions of X-Men 97. Plus, I also have an essay on X-Men 97 coming out next weekend. So if you want to talk about X-Men 97, it's here. I just thought I would do some promotion. Also, guys, like, subscribe. I know we said in the pre-intro. I'm gonna say it again. Like, subscribe. If whatever channel you're watching on, like and subscribe. Go to Organized Chaos Podcast, like and subscribe. Go to Bobby Quarters, like and subscribe. Do all the things.
Do all of the things.
I think that. And it's important to do that whenever it's on my mind, because it never is.
That's why we have it recorded.
Yes.
We forgot that crucial part.
Yes, it's still good.
Hey, we could re-record it. You know, you're wearing the same shirt, so.
True. No one would know.
Throw a flannel.
No one would know.
I can throw a flannel. It's easy.
That is true. Happy Pride Month.
Yes, happy Pride Month.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, you did hear about the controversy a couple months ago about Marvel announcing that their Pride issues would have variant covers featuring allies, which was
really?
yes. It's like what the fuck?
Oh,
Talk about missing the point.
oh.
It's like wow. It's tough to get Spider-Man on the cover of a comic book. Thank you. Now we can do it on Pride Month.
How many different varying covers are there?
I haven't looked, but I don't even remember if they're still doing it because they got a lot of like backlash for that, as they should, because that's a stupid call. That defeats the point of the Pride books. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be an ally. Being an ally is good, but that's not the point of Pride, guys.
Not at all.
But yes. I'm doing good, Nicholas. How are you? We have a pretty good week this week. I'd say we got Doctor Who to go over. Finally getting caught up with the new season. We got Inside Out from 2015 discussed, leading up to the sequel, and then we're looking at old Discovery. We're going to be finishing season 2 of Discovery rather than season 5. I know season 5 just finished, and if you guys want to see a discussion about season 5, guess what? When this stream's over, Dane and Morgan on his channel are going to be discussing Discovery season 5. So if you want to see discussion of season, you can watch season 2 discussion here, then jump over there and watch season 5 discussion. It's perfect. It's like symmetry. And then we'll eventually get to season 5 later in the year. But
so wait, have you been through this deep hurting before, or are you just like working your way through it with me?
Oh, Discovery?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like season 2, but we'll get to it. But like, yeah, season 1 is really rough. And essentially Discovery so far has been a series that is, in my opinion, has gotten better every season. So
well, yeah, we can get into it, but
yeah, we'll get into it later. I guess, do we want to just dive into Doctor Who?
Yeah, let's talk Doctor Who.
Okay, so aren't you outraged that the Doctor's gay?
I didn't notice.
Yeah. No, it's Grifter Sphere. They're working overtime on this season because I have to say, listen, like,
is the actor portraying him gay? Like
yes.
Matters,
the only reason I know that is because they won't shut up about it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
so the actor is, but the okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So they just want to see the Doctor fuck, pretty much.
That's what it sounds like. It's like, what do you want to see the Doctor have? Like,
I mean, I'm sure that
sex? I mean,
I don't know if they're looking for that, but if they're looking for anything, I'm sure that exists.
No. Fanfic is a marvelous and disturbing thing.
Yeah. But didn't notice. I know this is the first 6.
Yes. Well, we already covered the first one, so we're covering 2 through 5.
I actually had to rewatch it just to have a refresher with it. Well, I think I should have
rewatched it because I know
I got to episode 4, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to watch that first one again. And I rewatched it, and yeah.
Looking at a couple of these numbers, I definitely feel like these are getting review bombed, especially that first one. So, like, listen, do I think that this first part of this season is flawless? No. But I will say there's we'll get to them, but there's a couple episodes that I think are absolutely insanely good here.
There's one that I felt was like, this has that original reboot Doctor Who written all over it.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, I mean, it definitely feels like Russell. You can tell Russell T Davies' return. It feels a lot like the early reboot. Yeah,
it was very much a Russell T Davies.
I mean,
well, which one are you talking about? Because
Well, we'll get to it, but I will tell you it's the last one we watch. Is the one
Yes,
I really
but
love.
another one. Yes,
Or is it?
loved that one. But there was
Mhm.
a different one that really was like the weird Doctor Who, like what made me like really get into it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess let's just go ahead and go through them one by one because I think weird Doctor Who can, to a degree, be used to describe all these.
Well, not
Strangely enough,
like,
so
not your traditional weird, like nothing like that. Like okay, the one where they're on the war planet and how he's standing on the landmine
okay,
through most
yeah,
of it.
that's actually the Stephen Moffat episode.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah,
I could tell.
it does kind of stick out. It's like, oh yeah, this is definitely Moffat.
and I he's the reason what made me love the show for so long. So yeah, that one I was my favorite of the bunch. Just that creepy ass robot, like
yeah, the ambulance.
No, no, that had Moffat written all over it.
Yeah, well, Moffat. Listen, I will say, like, I think the best written run of New Who so far has been Matt Smith's run, and that was when Moffat took over. I really like his run, even though I think Matt Smith's a great Doctor, he's not my favorite Doctor by a decent margin. But yeah, I think he might have had the best set of episodes. And I also feel like
my favorite Doctor out of the reboots is the George Lazenby of them. Christopher
the George Lazenby. Oh,
yeah, he was
one season and done.
Oh, I mean, just he could have done so much more.
He could have, yeah.
Like, and he
I don't know,
showed
part
so
of me
much
also,
range in that, and that's what I like. You rarely saw it from either of them, and never were consistent. And that's my criticism of both Tennant and Smith.
Well, I mean, there is an argument to be made that it kind of helped the series to do a new Doctor so quickly to just get that set up in the fans' minds that the Doctor's not going to stay the same.
Well, no, but fans of Classic Who already knew that, and we're at the point that we were in like the pre-internet age when that came out, so like that information could have easily been looked up or found.
True. But I don't know. I think for tonally it fits. I'm not saying I don't want more Eccleston because I want love for more Eccleston, but I don't think it's bad for the series that happened either.
No.
But yeah, I guess we can go through one by one, even though we kind of hit up Boom already.
But
I guess
it still had like the greatest episode in there, like the greatest one of the episode. Are you my mommy?
Oh, which one are you thinking of?
Are you my mommy?
Oh,
World War II arc.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah,
that was Moffat too, wasn't it? No,
that was. I believe that was Moffat as well.
You see, even though I love the Matt Smith run, I love the David Russell T Davies run where Moffat just got to essentially guest star as a writer. I think that was kind of at its best because then you just occasionally get that Moffat darkness, which I love. But anyways, I do think the first episode they start out with for this proper season, was Space Babies, which I thought was fine, but I will say I thought that was definitely the weakest episode of the bunch.
A part of me was really, really just hoping for. Hold on, let me find it. I'm on. All right. Space Babies. I was really hoping for that to be a Dalek episode. Like just right out of the gate.
That could.
I was disappointed.
Yeah,
I was very disappointed.
I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure 100% why they opened with this one because it's
weird.
It's like I don't want to say it's weird, and I appreciate the weird, quirky, goofy stuff. But I don't know if that's the best story to really launch your season with. I mean, I guess it's technically the second episode of The Doctor, so okay. But I don't know. I felt the Christmas special was a little quirky and weird too, and it'd be nice to vary it up between the two. Although I will stress, between the Christmas episode and this is way, way weirder. Ruby and the Doctor end up on a space station being run by babies who
who have some really distractingly bad AR.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate the the cheapness in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And I don't mean cheap like poor production, because this has beautiful production. But even in the days when it didn't, like, it still had this charm about it, and I could see that they were going for that, but oh no, that was really distracting.
It was a bit rough, yeah. And
it was
it
was like watching Baby Geniuses over again.
Ooh, I don't know if I'd go quite that low, but I see where you're coming from too.
Not one of the sequels. I mean, the sequels.
Oh. But yeah, so essentially there's babies on a space station, and there's this level where there's this monster, and then the monster is actually made out of snot. So it's a boogeyman, but it's made out of boogers.
Mucus.
And then they're going to kill the monster, but then the Doctor realizes it's the only one of its kind, and he doesn't want to kill it, so he saves it. And yeah, the more I go over it, I'm not really a fan, but it was a weird episode to start out with.
Yeah, I had to go back because I kind of drifted out and was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Did they just is that a fucking snot monster?
Yes. And at the end, we're supposed to feel sorry for it. And I'm like, okay, I might have felt sorry for it if it wasn't already established it was a snot monster.
I don't care if it's
snot.
a kid.
Oh
it's
my
a
God.
snot monster.
Yeah, it's kind of fucking gross, okay?
This next one was I don't mind them
the next
doing
one,
a character. They're obviously introducing a character in this one.
Yeah. So the next one is the Devil's Cord. This one I think has issues. I will say, I know the Chuds are freaking out because of Jinx Monsoon. Oh my God, how dare they have a drag queen play a role? That being said, I think Jinx Monsoon does a really fucking good job here.
I'm sorry, they were drag?
Yeah, it's a drag queen.
Oh. That explains the over the topness and everything.
She is she is chewing scenery hard, but I kind of dig it.
Yeah, I had no problem with that.
Yeah,
that I had no issue with. Like, I get that, but I don't think that this time period would have been the right setting to do it in.
Oh, well, I like, here's the deal with this episode. Like, they wanted to do some sort of Beatles episode, but they didn't have the rights to Beatles songs. And I
noticed that right away.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I took a look at all four of them, and I was like, Paul's right-handed.
But hey, we did get one Beatles song, and it was great.
No, we didn't.
Well, they sung about their dog. It was great. So yeah, and real quick to go over the story. Jinx Monsoon plays the Maestro, who is supposed to be one of the children of the Toymaker, and apparently will deal with the children of the Toymaker throughout the rest of this run.
Oh, I missed that. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She is essentially a god, and that's why the Doctor's kind of freaked out, because Toymaker's essentially a god, and when you're dealing with the gods, you just gotta figure out what the rules are to beat them, essentially.
Gotcha.
And then of course, to defeat the Maestro, you have to figure out the right musical notes to play. And the Doctor gets close, but he doesn't quite figure it out. But fortunately, the Beatles are there; they can figure it out, and I'm kind of cool by that.
I mean, they could have gone old composer like Beethoven.
Mm-hmm.
They could have done that.
They could have as well, but they want to do a Beatles episode. I'm kind of okay with it. I don't think it's one of the strongest ones in this season.
I'm saying, you think the Disney, even the BBC with Disney's backing, financially, they still couldn't afford Beatles music.
Well, that's the thing I was kind of wondering about, because I know Disney gives the BBC money, but it's probably the BBC itself that needs rights, because I would think that Disney would have some Beatles rights, considering they have that Beatles documentary on Disney Plus. Yeah,
and they let Peter Jackson re-release "Let It Be." You know that?
Yeah.
Have you
That
watched it yet?
sounds familiar. Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
No, I haven't either.
It's
That's
like the
right. Yeah, I
original
saw that
film.
posted. That's right. I saw it posted. I was like, what is this? Oh, it's an older one? Okay.
It's the original one, yeah, the one that's been
Yeah.
on circulation. But I don't know. I also kind of thought the actors for the Beatles were shit.
Well, they don't have a huge role. I like one of the big things that
They
really threw me
stole
off
that
was
they were
how
gonna be
round
with-
John's face was.
Oh my god, yes. No,
I was like, that is not John.
let's talk
Like,
about
you
how
just got a guy with glasses on in the right hairdo. That's it.
let's talk about how with Paul's haircut it looked like he was literally wearing a biker helmet. Like I was not convinced that was hair.
No, I don't think they had. I think those were wigs. I'm pretty confident.
And they weren't even good wigs.
No.
But I think that with Doctor Who, man, we got to have those bad episodes every so often. The ones that are just like, what the hell is this?
Doctor Who, there's like the thing I always have to warn people if you're interested in diving into Doctor Who, there's gonna be cheese. You better be prepared for a big old helping of cheese.
If I'm gonna introduce it and I want to get the weird out of the way, I'll just show them. I'll pick a random episode, but I'll tell them a random episode. But no, it's the same one every time. It's the one with the little fat aliens.
Oh God, that one's fun. That one's a lot of fun.
that kind of gets all the weird out of the way right away.
Yeah.
And then like you could show Gridlock and be like, "What is it? Oh, it's a cat alien." Yeah, there's cat aliens.
Yeah, there's
and just
any aliens you want, they're there.
They exist in this world.
Yeah,
they just do. That way they won't go like, they'll just be, oh, cool, cat alien, and not think about it.
Yeah, it's really not a bad idea to introduce the fact that like Doctor Who will do anything at once.
It'll do whatever it wants. Yeah.
And then, the next episode is the one you've already brought up.
Boom. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to add?
No, I really like this one, like the dystopian bad.
Oh yeah.
I just kind of like when they get dark and bleak. And
this is. I like how Moffat essentially, there is a commentary in this one, essentially how it's just all war for money, essentially, and they're fighting this enemy they've never seen, only to find out, you're not actually fighting anybody. This is a war that exists to fund warmongers, essentially. But you know what? Doctor Who never has a political messaging, so it's fine.
No, they with them getting dark and bleak, they could also get very scary and like good with horror. Which the next episode they showed that they flexed that muscle.
And, yes, 73 yards. That one. So like I feel like both like the last 3 episodes are all kind of pretty big high concept episodes, I have to say.
Yeah.
Everything okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So 73 yards is essentially it introduces it fairly quickly. The Doctor lands on this coast. He accidentally breaks some sort of art pattern on the ground. Then suddenly he's gone and Ruby's by herself. And there's this woman pretty much consistently 73 yards away from her trying to tell her something, but it's not clear what. And she lives the next 60 or so years of her life.
Yeah. Like, I was
yeah,
surprised by that too.
Yeah, I was like, "Whoa!" They cut that scene and you see a card on her thing that says 30. It's like, "Oh, we're doing that?
We're doing this? We're doing
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Doctor Who. Where are we going with this?
I mean, there's that throwaway line at the beginning where he's like, "Oh, there's so and so that was elected to prime minister back in '46. Oh, yeah, that's ahead of your time. You don't know about that." It's like, "Oh, I bet you that's setting up something for a future episode." No,
they're gonna.
It's setting up something for this episode.
They're gonna pay it off right away.
Yeah, it's like, no, that's this episode. You don't have to wait for that one. So this one, I kind of wish they'd explain things a bit more clearly exactly as what was going on. That being said, the actual delivery of the episode I thought worked really well.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, just when we get to the
was-
reveal of the who the person is at 73 yards away, it's kind of like, okay, but how are they doing this? How are they doing that? I have questions at that point, but I can't really panic because I think it's a really cool high concept episode, and for the most part, it works fairly well throughout like 90% of the run, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, anything you want to add, or you want to jump into Dot and Bubble?
Dot and Bubble. Yeah, let's jump into it.
Dot and Bubble. This is my favorite episode of the run so far. Holy shit. I love the setup and the premise for this. This is the world is fine time, and it is a world run entirely by people who are on social media 24/7.
They live in a
holy
bubble.
shit.
Literally
Yes.
live in a bubble.
Yeah, it's literally just a bubble around them. When they're walking, they get like instructions forward, turn right.
Stop.
So they never have to leave the bubble. They can just be on social media the whole fucking time. And then the Doctor and Ruby end up interrupting this one woman, Lindy's bubble. They're like, can you look around outside? There's some fucked up shit going on. She's like, no, go away. And then eventually they do get her to look outside. And she's noticing a whole bunch of her friends are disappearing in her bubble, but she doesn't really seem to care. But eventually she does look outside and she sees her friends aren't there. And then they get her to look to the right and she sees one of her friends being eaten by this alien slug thing. And it's like,
As soon as I heard like the gestation sounds, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yes. This is what
also
I
there's-
love about Doctor Who.
Yeah. So like they're like, okay, so in order to look out for these things and get to where you need to go, you need to turn off your bubble. And she's like, okay. So she well, there's lots of fighting about it at first, but she's eventually like, okay, I'll turn off my bubble. So she turns off her bubble and she can't fucking walk without it. She's like stumbling into everything.
Yeah. Like that. Tripping into the desk.
Yeah.
That's too damn funny.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. And then she's like, okay, so I have to use the bubble. And then so she uses the bubble. And then eventually the bubble just tells her to move forward straight into one of the fucking slug things. And the Doctor and Ruby are like, no, do not listen to the bubble. Do not do it. Don't do it. Yeah, so like, yeah, obviously there's some rich social commentary with this whole episode that I absolutely love. Okay, Russell T. Davies wrote this one. That's a banger, Russell. Good job.
That was
I love how 90% of it, like, I was just gonna say, I like how the Doctor and Ruby have almost very limited roles here. They're only like mostly in this like social media bubble that Lindy views, and we follow Lindy for most part through the episode, which is a very like it's a very cool setup. It's very much again high concept, but it works really well. The whole idea of like, yeah.
So I know he did rate 73 yards as well.
Yeah, he did 73 yards. Yeah,
That's
I
what
remember
thought.
that.
Yeah, I forgot to check while we were talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So this I just love the social commentary. I love, like, I don't want to reveal the twist at the end, but I love the twist at the end where it's just like, oh God, fuck these people.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a fantastic one. So I guess is there anything you want to add to Dot and Bubble? Because I was thinking we go into like kind of more overview at this point.
I really liked it when I don't know, this may be spoiler-ish, but I'm gonna still say it, when Dot turned on her and started just attacking her.
Oh yeah. Well, it is kind of like spoiler-ish, but yeah, in case you're wondering, the slugs aren't the real villain. It's the social media shit they're doing.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about like her escaping. Like,
yeah, I was talking about her escaping specifically.
Oh yeah.
What exactly happens there? It's like, oh fuck these people.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah. I not worth it.
Yeah.
I think
the Doctor gives it his best try.
Eight would have just let you do it with the second you said you can't walk.
Yeah.
He would have given up on you right then.
Well, I guess we brought the other thing I wanted to go into is what do you think of Ncuti Gatwa so far?
He's good.
Yeah,
Enjoy him, yeah.
I agree. I'm enjoying him quite a bit. I do think it's almost entertaining seeing some of the response of people talk about he's not playing the Doctor, he's just playing himself. Which, number one, I don't think he's playing himself. But number two, every actor has played the Doctor differently since Patrick Troughton, guys. When you tell me he's not playing it exactly like the other guys, that's the point. He's not supposed to.
That is the point of the role.
Yeah.
You give it your own perspective and interpretation, as actors have done since one.
Yes.
That's the point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how the series stays fresh. That's how come the series has like
just for fuck's
what
sake.
the series has like what 35 seasons at this point. That's part of why it's able to stay fresh.
Criticism every time.
Yeah.
It's just like he's not
playing it the same as the last guy. No shit, he's not supposed to. No.
The last one was a girl, and y'all probably hated her too. So
yeah, they did.
My favorite writer left. That's why I stopped watching. He couldn't work with Capaldi, so I stopped watching.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I think Ncuti Gatwa was doing a good job. I do like Ruby as the companion. But
I do too.
Yeah.
I was
liking
curious
this lineup.
because I remember reading something like they couldn't come to a deal and she was out as companion, or maybe not returning next season or something like that.
Yeah, I think I read something about that too, which would be disappointing because they did set up a lot for her.
We'll
see if it comes to a resolution.
I mean, you think they're rebooting the Bad Wolf story? Because it feels like they're rebooting the Bad Wolf story.
There are things that kind of remind me of it. Yeah,
feels a lot like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see it coming now, and it's like when I rewatch that whole arc, which is a good time, but it feels like it. They're doing something.
Yeah, we will have to see. We got 3 more episodes we'll cover in a couple weeks, but
like the Snow has got to have some sort of awesome payoff. Like, give me dialects.
Mm-hmm. Hey, here's what I will say: is this season perfect so far? No, not at all. Is it really good though? Yeah, so far I think it's pretty fucking good. I'm kind of down for it. So we'll see what the last 3 episodes bring, but yeah, awesome. Anything you want to add, or you want to jump into Inside Out?
Yeah, let's jump Inside Out.
Okay. Bobby, had you seen this before?
I think so.
Okay.
It's a bit.
I know it's been a while for me. I remember taking my daughter to see it back in the day.
I mean, I'm not really the target. I'm really not the target audience.
You're not?
No.
What?
No, I know they make movies.
I took my kids to it, but
yeah.
So this is
nice little flick.
Yeah, this is a good old classic Pixar flick. This is and Pixar is one of those film studios that I largely enjoy, although I've been getting a little sick of the sequels. The only reason I decided to add this on the agenda is just because I thought the Inside Out trailer I thought looked pretty good. We'll see what happens with that. But I was like, okay, let's revisit Inside Out because I remember liking that. And I will say, God damn it, that goddamn stupid imaginary friend gets me every time when he dies. Fucking hell. Spoiler for a 9-year-old movie, but god damn it.
It's only because
stupid pink elephant dude.
I picture the actor, and then I see the actor doing that, and then I get really sad.
Yeah,
he's great.
God damn it.
Yeah, this was pretty good. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, no, it's the story of a young girl moving to a new place, but it sets up the whole mind, the inner workings of her mind, and the different emotions all have characters, and they all play a role. And it's kind of about how Joy has been the one dominating the mind, and everything's been happy, but now the kid's getting older. She's living in a new place. She's missing a lot of her old friends, and a lot of her happy memories are becoming sad memories, and how Joy thinks things are going drastically wrong and not quite realizing that actually this is kind of just life. It's not necessarily a bad thing, even. It just, I don't know. I think it's a really thoughtful and nice movie. Is that true, Archmage? So Ruby is coming back for season 2, but they're adding another companion. I'm down for that. I know the New Who, although they've been losing it recently. New Who seem to be stuck on not having only one companion. I'm down for having multiple companions. I think that's fun. I'm having a little crew if the Doctor works for me.
Well, they kind of had that with Smith.
Yes. I feel like with Smith is where they started walking away, where they had Amy Pond, and then eventually they introduced Rory as well.
The Ponds.
Yes. Yeah, the Ponds, yeah. I feel like that was a New Who where they started breaking that mold. Although a little bit later, but like Captain Jack was never in a whole lot. But that's the closest I feel like they were getting to multiple companion storylines.
Yeah. They played around with it with Rose, and they did it a few times with, I want to say, Donna and Martha.
Yeah, it seems familiar. Oh, yeah, and I guess Mickey was there for a little bit, but I don't know. We don't talk about Mickey. We don't.
No, we only have to talk about the greatest moment with Mickey's greatest moments.
Mm.
They're sitting in the. We'll talk about it after the show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the actor who played Mickey turned out to be.
Oh,
awful,
that. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That. No. Yeah. That. Like, I'd say his greatest moment is when he's in the car with a K9.
Are you excited about Inside Out too? I don't know if excited is quite the right term. I'm interested. Like I said, I thought the trailer looked cool. So I was like, okay, let's go ahead and revisit this because I hadn't seen this in a while and I remember liking it. And honestly, I think Lucifer kind of was it Lucifer? I don't remember. I'm not really seeing it now. But I just it's Nicholas. Inside Out is it's solid, but it's not one of Pixar's best, but it's solid. Yeah, that's exactly where I put. Obviously I think stuff like
right.
WALL-E and fucking Up. Goddamn, those are good. Those would be my favorites. But this is pretty good. I'd still say this is upper tier Pixar overall. Like this, I'd put this more in the same league as this and like Coco. Probably some of the Toy Stories I'd have to rewatch. But yeah, I like the different emotions. I like how they set up this whole like little fantasy world where it sets up how almost how the emotional framework works, but like something that can be visually seen and interacted with. I think how they do that whole setup is pretty clever. I think the voice actors do a fun job. We got Amy Poehler, Bill Hader, Louis Black. Louis Black is always awesome. I'd never object to having Louis Black around. Mindy Kaling.
I find Louis Black to be funnier when he's in a kids movie because he has to tone it down.
Yes,
and knowing what Louis Black's stand up is really like.
Yes,
I find that to be just equally as hilarious.
No, you could have a lot of fun if you took some of his stand up and put it to some of his animated work.
Like I'm sure some of it would match up.
Yes. The whole anger thing is definitely his shtick. So they'd probably match up pretty easily here. But yeah, this is just, I think, a really fun and creative movie. I guess it's just one I say it's worth checking out if you've never seen it. I enjoy it. Anything you want to add, Bobby?
No.
Okay. I guess we weren't on it too long, but I don't know. There's not a whole lot to say other than it's a fun movie, guys.
Holy shit. I'm just looking at the cast here real quick.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a Pixar movie.
Frank Oz. Suspicious Guard Dave.
Who was Frank Oz?
Suspicious Guard
Dave.
Oh,
damn. I didn't even know about Frank Oz. Well, I didn't know about Flea either, but Flea pops up in lots of stuff.
John Ratzenberger?
John Ratzenberger is in... Yeah, this was in kind of almost when he was in like all the Pixar stuff.
Yeah.
You also get Kyle MacLachlan and Diane Lane as the parents.
A pairing that you never thought you'd actually would want to see on film until you read it, going like, huh?
Yeah,
all right. Like,
yeah,
okay.
I can see that. But yeah, a solid movie. And I guess that brings us to the end of Discovery season 2. And
yep.
So I'm guessing I enjoyed this more than you did. Although I will say, that final episode, well, I think they built up to it all right. Man, that fucking battle takes too goddamn long.
Agreed.
But overall, like, I'm okay with this season. I feel like this season, while it's definitely got its rough side, this season is kind of like setting up what Discovery kind of should have been to begin with. And also sets up Strange New Worlds, which is awesome. But Bobby, what are your thoughts?
Oh, so I was wondering where in the Strange New Worlds timeline did this take place? Because it was kind of
this is a prequel. Yeah.
Okay.
This is set up for Strange New Worlds, essentially.
I enjoyed this for the most part. Overall,
yeah, I will say that, like, I'm not a fan of Discovery Klingons. I'm kind of glad Discovery got away from it. I'm all for experimenting with makeup changes, and I don't think the makeup changes need to be explained because it just gets silly when we explain it. I just don't like the look of Discovery Klingons. I know it's a weird superficial thing. I just don't.
No, I agree with you. They looked off, and it kind of bothered me too.
Yeah.
Like it bothered me. Like I was like, oh, this is ew.
Mm-hmm. The other thing I will say is, while I'm glad his character is done, man, Ash Tyler as a character never worked for me. I would have been happy if they just never returned to him in season 2, but I guess we finished it off. I've heard good things about For All Mankind. I think that's an Apple TV series, which is a service I don't have, but yeah, I don't know much about it. I will say this season, I do really like they brought back Culber, and I like having Spock and Pike there, even though it's kind of just fan service. I think they do a good job with those characters.
Yeah.
And I really like just setting up for Strange New Worlds as well.
And that's the same. That's the same actor who plays Spock in Strange New Worlds, right?
Yep. It's the same actors. Yeah. It's Ethan Peck,
I liked him.
and then
I liked him with the beard.
Yeah.
I actually liked Spock's beard.
But he's evil Spock. Just watch Mirror.
Oh man, evil Spock is all right. He's all right with me.
True. Evil Spock was actually all right. I mean, the joke is in Mirror that all the evil ones have the goatee, but the fact is, in the actual episode, it's only Spock that has the goatee. And Mirror Spock wasn't all that evil. He was actually a lot better than the rest of the crew. He was one of the better ones,
I've seen that. I've never seen. It's been forever since I've seen that episode, but I've seen that storyline parodied in other shows before I saw it on Star Trek.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's one of those things that has proliferated pop culture. Just the evil one has the goatee.
And then that same device of like with how Spock was the best out of all of them. I think I saw it in South Park.
Yeah, I remember.
Surprised me that they stole it from Star Trek.
Yeah. Oh, dude, South Park borrows from Star Trek all the time. I remember the teacher in the beep chair, which was amazing.
Yeah, I knew that was from Star Trek.
Yeah,
I saw that one. I knew that was.
Well, that is Pike's thing. And we get to see a little foreshadowing it. That this season actually even does kind of set up Pike's arc kind of in Strange New Worlds, where he's like, he has to embrace this future that he really doesn't want.
I really noticed that, and I was like,
yeah.
Okay, so at what point does he just say, fuck it, go partying and drinking, and then they go wake him up in his place, and Strange New World starts?
Yeah. Well, the other thing I thought was funny is so you can see their styling. So Pike's hair, like I think Anson Mount does a great job, but his hair in Strange New Worlds is intense. Actually, yeah, that almost kind of looks like the Strange New Worlds, even though it's pulled from here. But I noticed throughout Discovery, like he's definitely like making it stand up a bit, but it's not that intense.
Oh, like that first picture up here?
His hair actually looks normal. Possibly. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
And I do feel like as Strange New Worlds goes on, I feel like his hair just keeps on getting taller and taller.
This one had some good payoffs with it.
But yeah.
It was
Well,
better
at
than
least the
season
payoff
1.
wasn't let's go to the ultimate universe and kill some people and then jump back later.
True. It wasn't that.
Mhm. True. Yeah. But yeah, overall, this is I enjoyed this. Yeah, I think this does a good job of setting up pretty much what's to come later in season 1. Yeah, here's where his hair just looks kind of like he's obviously putting like gel in it, but it's not nearly as severe.
Yeah.
It looks semi-normal. Like if I didn't look at it, I may not notice that it's obviously gelled. But yeah, it's this is yeah, I like this season. It didn't blow my mind, and I think, God, that like the last episode just begins with that space battle, and it just goes on and on until we get to the Red Angel stuff, and it just feels like even though space battle's still going on, they hit the pause button on it, and then they move on to do other things, and it's like, isn't the space battle still going on? What? Huh? Who? What?
Hey, are we supposed to care about this? Like, what's happening?
Yeah. Aren't people getting blown up now? Do we care? Are we not caring anymore? I guess we are not caring anymore.
Okay, we're just not going to worry about that. All right. Okay, that's cool, Star Trek.
Oh, and another thing I think this season does really well is Stamets and Culber's relationship. I just wanted to point this out because I think kind of how Hamlet is fairly mature. So essentially, Culber comes back from the dead, and Stamets is just ready to pick up right where they're left off. And Culber is like, I was just dead. I need to figure out who the fuck I am. And it's kind of a logical story arc. And I also like how Culber and Ash, one of the better only moments worth having Ash here is having them like actually duke it out a bit, because and then Saru was even like, stand back, just let him have this out, because it's one of those situations where it's like Culber wants to just beat the shit out of Ash, and it's like, I get it, you deserve it. You don't like him, and honestly, I don't like him, and that's even putting aside the fact that he killed you. So yeah, I like how they handle that aspect of the series as well. Like I said, I don't like Ash Tyler. I'm not going to be sad that he's gone. I don't want to see him pop up in Strange New Worlds. We can just forget about him. I feel like he was this character introduced to be Michael's fuck buddy, but they didn't really know what to do. Like they had the Klingon aspect of him, and the Klingon twist really only would have worked if I was actually invested in his character, which I never fucking was. So yeah,
I'm kind of happy that guy's gone, because he was just kind of
there's all this stuff between him and Burnham being like, oh, it's so sad, and I'm like, just I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't
move
know.
on.
Skip.
But yeah, probably in a couple months we'll go ahead and pick up season 3, where they go off to the future, which is kind of an interesting storyline. It's we'll get to it in a couple months, but yeah, we'll start picking up Star Trek Discovery season 3 when Lower Decks comes on. And then we'll probably finish the series, because I would like to get to season 5, but I'm kind of waiting for the podcast to get there as well. If spoilers become too big an issue, maybe I'll just rush through at some point. But I don't know. I kind of want to wait for the podcast. But yeah, overall, I like this season. I just it's not. I know it gets better from here as well.
Okay, because this
So-
season I kind of felt like there was a lot of episodes that were just kind of pulling from here and there of like the Star Trek realm of things,
Yeah,
and kind of laying breadcrumbs of a story throughout. I just kind of wish that there'd be a few episodes where they kind of just unravel that story a little bit and leave it on a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, I will
Yeah.
say what I thought was
Not
interesting
just-
is one of the best episodes this season. It was part of the first batch. It was just when they went to that planet. That was where the human colonists were, and they
Yeah.
were sending out distress call, and they visited them and realized, oh, these are humans that got stranded here. And it was just a little standalone episode that, yes, plays into the rest of the series, but it was just a little simple standalone episode, and I found it really entertaining and fun. It's just a simple little one-shot story, and I feel like that was kind of the basis for Strange New Worlds going forward. Which Strange New Worlds is serialized. It's just not remotely as serialized as a lot of other Trek is at this point. But yeah, it is. Have we checked out? I've seen a lot of the short treks. It's been quite a few years, Archmage. But yeah. So next week, Ashleen and I will be doing the podcast together. We'll be covering Collective Soul, which, you know what, I'm looking forward to doing the show with her. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
We're doing the whole album ranking. We're going to do the concert review. But then after that, Bobby, you and I are coming back, and we got Boys season 4 to talk about, and then The Quiet Place and Inside Out 2. I'm really excited. You know what? While Inside Out 2 will probably be good, what I'm excited about is The Boys, the first 3 episodes of season 4. I'm excited for that.
I've been waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting.
And then, yeah, that should be good. So, guys, like, subscribe, whatever channel you're on, like and subscribe. Go over to the Organized Chaos podcast channel, do the same thing. Go to friggin' Bobby Quarters over here.
Yeah.
Give his channel a sub and a like and all the jazz. Check out his podcast. He's got real crime stuff. It's good stuff. Check it out. Anything you want to shout out, Bobby?
Not shout out, but funny story. I found an old flash drive that had a lot of my season 2 stuff on it, but it's been corrupted. So I'm working. I kicked myself in the butt, and I'm working on more. So
okay, well, hopefully that comes out. And guys, again, like we talked about Discovery season 2, and if you want to see Discovery season 5, Dane and Morgan are about ready to talk about it on Actual Fandom. So go check out Actual Fandom's channel. They got it going on over there. Oh, and if you're looking for my streams, they're not going to be happening for a whole lot. I'm doing the Collective Soul stream next week, and then that is it for like 10 days. So I will be working on videos. I got my X-Men essay coming out. Hopefully that'll be out by the weekend. There's going to still be videos coming out, but live streams, not a whole lot. But I will be back. Just summer's going to be spotty, guys, but bear with me, and thank you for being here and watching. So party on, be excellent to each other, all that jazz.
Adios all.
And then I don't even know if it's over.